And that man was back, Kevin Love, who was battling some back spasms at Charlotte. And the Hornets don't feel sorry for anybody because they don't have Al Jefferson. So they're like, we don't care if you're hurt, banged up, bleeding, whatever. But
back looked
up
good
the
there.
floor, yeah, Kevin Love with the finish. Scored the Cavs' first 6 of the game. But the Cavaliers kind of struggling after that. Kyrie misses. Sean Marion was back in the lineup, had an ankle issue. And off the bad Kyrie miss, Kemba Walker. Oh, nice. Cody Zeller. The Cavs were held to 40 at the break. That's their lowest first half total of the season. Charlotte led 46-40. Now in the third, here's Love going baseline, and he goes to the floor, and he's going to grab his left leg. We'll show you what happened on the other end. Gerald Henderson with his slam.
We had to show that highlight for Grant.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, David. Thank you.
But you see what happened to Love here, and, you know, that looked bad, but he stayed in the game. He would be okay. Mike Miller to Love for the 3, and then Kevin Love over Zeller and Mike Miller to Love. So, see, if Love does this, that's what you're there to do, man. Make those shots.
Yeah,
that's your thing.
He is. That's his thing. I'm more impressed with Mike Miller being a playmaker there. Since his Florida days. But Love is getting it going with.
Well, he's touching the ball tonight. I mean, that's all the difference.
That's
He's
true.
touching the ball.
Deion Waiters had a nice game off the bench, and Tristan Thompson was strong. He had 14 points and 14 rebounds. The Cavs were up by 10 at this point, but Charlotte trying to keep it close. There's your guy again, Gerald Henderson. Just drive and lays it up and in.
He's above.
Usually. 3-point lead for Cleveland. But Kevin Love, tough fadeaway.
Have some of that.
With Marvin Williams in his grill. Bangs that home. And the Cavaliers end a 3-game losing streak, 91-87. The Hornets have lost 4 in a row, and Love was the leading scorer with 27. Kyrie backed him up.
The Brooklyn Nets looking to continue in 2015 just the way they ended 2014. They've won 5 of their last 6. Meanwhile, the Orlando Magic have lost 8 of their last 10 at home, but things looking up early on for the Magic in this one. Channing Frye beats the buzzer at the end of the first quarter to give Orlando a 3-point lead. How about Dwayne Dedmon just splatting that ball off the glass on the Mirza Teletovic layup attempt? But Teletovic would get some redemption here as the Nets would outscore the Magic 30-15 in the second quarter. There's Teletovic with the alley-oop lay-in from Darren Williams. And the Nets have got a couple of nice combos going for them lately. The big guys, Mason Plumlee right there with the slam, and Brook Lopez forming a nice 1-2 punch down low. And Darren Williams now coming off of the bench while Jarrett Jack starts. Brooklyn 5-1 with Jack in the starting lineup, but Darren Williams knocking down a 3, his best scoring game since returning from injury. 16 points for him as Brooklyn led by 12 at halftime. Victor Oladipo had 17. He gets the layup and the foul right there. Off the Orlando turnover, there's Jarrett Jack dumping it behind him to Plumlee, who finished with 18 points in the ballgame, 67-52 Nets. And they would increase that lead even more. Darren Williams pulling up for 3. It was a 26-point ballgame late in the third. Here in the fourth, Sergei Karasev doing his Jarrett Jack impersonation, finding Brook Lopez for the slam. Lopez had 16 off the bench for the Nets, but the Magic come fighting back. How about a 24-3 run? Ben Gordon had 14 in the game, 13 of them coming in the final quarter. Nets turning it over. Elfrid Payton had his best game as a pro. 16 points, 9 rebounds, and 10 assists. The lead, just 8 now for Brooklyn with 2.5 to go. It's a 3-point game with 30 ticks on the clock. Magic inbounding. Evan Fournier, a chance to tie it with a straightaway 3. Back irons it, and the ball ends up going out of bounds and given to Brooklyn as they would go on to seal it. 100-98 the final. The Nets are at 500 for the first time since November 13th. With the New York Knicks mired in a 9-game losing streak, let's rattle off the guys who would not be in uniform as they took on the Pistons Friday. Carmelo Anthony out with a knee injury. Iman Shumpert, shoulder injury. Tim Hardaway Jr., concussion. They were all on the bench. The Knicks also without Amari Stoudemire, Samuel Dalembert, and to add injury to more injuries, Andrea Bargnani would leave 2 minutes into the ballgame. So the Knicks starting 5 had never played 1 second together. Cole Aldridge wearing his "Hello, my name is" tag for the rest of his teammates. Meanwhile, now correct. Monroe had 8 points in the first quarter, finished with a double-double, 12 points and 10 rebounds. 4-point game when Andre Drummond with the putback. He had 20 rebounds in this game. Third time in his last 5 he's eclipsed the 20-rebound mark, and 5th time this season. 11-0 run from Detroit here in the second. Jody Meeks, who had a career-high 9 threes his last ball game, had 3 in this one as the Pistons made 13 as a team. Off the Jose Calderon miss, DJ Augustine the other way. Nice little shovel pass to Contavious Caldwell-Pope. It was 57-38 Pistons in the Garden at halftime. Brandon Jennings knocking down one of his 4 threes to balloon the lead to 27. 7 minutes and 5 seconds into the third quarter, the Knicks say, hey, why don't we get a field goal in this second half? The Knicks 4 of 20 in the third quarter. They were outscored by 11 in the frame. Brandon Jennings, Stan Van Gundy has been praising his play as of late. He had 29 on 11 of 17 shooting. And then Meeks the steal and the lay-in on the other end. He had 15 off the bench. Detroit wins its 4th in a row, 97-81. And the Knicks now at 5-30 have lost 10 in a row for the second time this season.
The Rockets and the Pelicans. That's James Harden. He leads the league in scoring. And the third leading scorer, Anthony Davis.
Beard in the brow on ABC.
Beard in the brow. Part of our fall lineup. Evans to Anthony Davis dunks it. And then Tyreke Evans. Driving layup. And a tweet. Made the free throw. 24-16 New Orleans. James Harden. To Dwight Howard.
Nice pass.
Very nice. 39-30 though, New Orleans out in front, and then Drew Holiday. Ryan Anderson, not the 3, but working inside. He had 17 in the first half. Evans again. Just weaving his way to the basket.
Too strong, too strong.
15 in the first half for him, 55-40. New Orleans is all over the Rockets, and then Davis the block on Harden. I don't think so, Beard. Wow. New Orleans was up 59-42 at the break. Minute 30 into the second half, Kevin McHale
What's the blue team
subs
in?
all of his starters. That's it, you're all out. Yeah, look at that, wholesale.
Not happy.
Wow.
Drew Holiday,
Like it mattered.
Tyreke Evans. And then Holiday with a steal, and Evans again. Oh, that was nice. 21 in the game. And Evans to Ryan Anderson for the 3. He had 22. And I think you're getting the story here from New Orleans. Off the Rocket turnover. Jimmer!
Throw it up.
Jimmer! Austin Rivers.
Young fella.
111-83. New Orleans with a big win as Harden was held to 11. Now he ends up, he averages 27.5 a game. But again, kept in check. Dwight Howard with a dozen, and Anderson led all scorers with 22. The Pelicans are a game over 500. Let's get to where we began the night. Dallas and Boston, and Rondo returning to TD Garden.
The other guard, 6'1", from Kentucky, number 9, Rajon Rondo.
Very nice reception, a standing ovation for Rondo as he came back, and in the first quarter, he let him have it. He was perfect. 6 for 6 from the field, 3 for 3 from three-point range. For a guy who can't shoot, he didn't miss.
I hate to see him if he could shoot. He came out and shot threes, got to the basket, just kind of did what he
I'm going to flip this
what
one up
he
when it
wanted to
goes
do.
in.
I mean, he showed him everything. Rondo had 15 points in the first quarter. That is a career high for him in a first quarter. And after the first quarter, there was a video tribute, as expected.
Well, we can't defend him. Maybe we can mess him up emotionally.
Get him crying. That's the defense for tonight.
Very nice. In fact, I thought Boston was very gracious hosts in this game in more ways than one. Rondo, the drive, and the reverse. You know, I didn't ask you guys all night long, what about the alternate uniforms here
Hate 'em.
for Boston?
Hate him.
Yeah, you know, I
My
don't
position
like.
clear on that,
I
Vince?
don't
I
like.
am pretty straightforward stuff.
Awful.
Got it.
Awful. Stop it. Please don't ever wear those again. I can't. Ugh.
Rondo, Richard Jefferson, corner 3. Rondo had 5 assists on the night.
The Boston Celtics wear the Boston Celtic white and
I
green.
would think. I don't think the
Period.
Yankees have an alternate uniform.
Period.
But
It's an iconic uniform.
It's almost as bad as the teal I wore in Detroit.
yeah, well, what was that piss? Was like a horse with like a smoke trail or something. I don't know what that was. I wasn't sure.
It wasn't good, whatever it was.
Well, anyway, I think you get the picture of what was happening in Boston. It was the Rondo show.
See, you think Wallace is saying, please take me with you. I'm sorry.
He talked to Cuban.
Sorry.
Rondo,
Fine, it's a joke.
scoring
Come on,
best
laugh a little.
Dallas Maverick. He had 29. Again, his best in 6 rebounds and 5 assists. Ellis backed him up, and the Mavericks 24-10 now for the season. What a nice fit he has been, Rondo.
Pacers at the Bucks, a battle in the Midwest Friday. Brandon Knight suiting up for the Bucks, taking on a Pacers team that even at 12-21, still best in the league, allowing just over 96 points a game. Brandon Knight has averaged over 25 a game against the Pacers in his last 4 meetings against Indiana. He had 20 in this one. Meanwhile, the Bucks, good ball movement right there. And swinging out to Jared Dudley in the corner for 3. Bucks on top by 5, 32-27 in the second quarter. Indiana on the other end. C.J. Miles see the 3 and knock it down. He had 13 in the first half, tied at 34 now. Jared Bayless stepping in the passing lane, and he gets the dunk on the other end. The Bucks outscore Indiana 17-0 in fast break points, 53-46 Milwaukee at halftime. In the third, Roy Hibbert, the big fella, throwing one down. He had 18 points. Indiana within 3. Then Chris Middleton off the inbounds. Gonna play a little give and go with Zaza Pachulia. Middleton, the reverse is good. Milwaukee up by 5 still. Then Brandon Knight gonna go on the drive and toss it up for John Henson. He can go up and get it with the best of them. 14 points, 10 boards off the bench for the former Tar Heel. Indiana, though, coming alive from 3 in the fourth. That is Donald Sloan giving the Pacers back the lead at 73-72. Then C.J. Miles knocking down another one, and if some C.J. Miles is good, more is better. 6 threes for the lefty in 9 attempts. He had 22 points, and now Indiana up by 5 with just over 7 to play. And Donald Sloan filling the stat sheet on Friday, 10 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. That puts Indiana in the driver's seat for good. 94-91 the final. The Pacers win on the road. The Washington Wizards have never won at Oklahoma City, 0-5 all-time against the Thunder in Oklahoma. Good point guard matchup in this one, John Wall, Russell Westbrook, but early foul trouble for John Wall. Picks up his second foul right there guarding Westbrook. Wall protests, called for a technical, and John Wall played just 12 minutes in the first half, 0 of 2 from the field. But maybe Westbrook felt bad for John Wall after missing that huge dunk attempt. Westbrook thought he got fouled, and you know what? He would get hit with a technical as well. Westbrook's third technical in 3 quarters. Of course, he was ejected the last time out. Meanwhile, without John Wall, Andre Miller, that young, spry whippersnapper, knocking down his first 3 of the season, then finding Nene for the reverse, and then a bounce pass to Nene for a slam. Miller had 13 points and 2 assists in the first half. Washington led 57-55. Heading to the fourth quarter now. Thunder by 3, Westbrook. He is just so good pulling up in transition and knocking down the mid-range jumper. John Wall saying, you know what? I got a mid-range jumper in my arsenal as well. Brings the Wizards within 1 halfway through the fourth. And then it became Kevin Durant's time to shine. Straightaway 3 is good. Now, off the feed from Westbrook. Sizing up Rasul Butler for the step-back jumper. That one is pure, 100-95. And then Westbrook gonna lob one to Durant. Tough finish plus the foul. Durant, 23 of his 34 points coming in the second half. He was 12 of 18 from the floor in 32 minutes. A very efficient KD on Friday. John Wall kicking it out in transition to Bradley Beal in the corner for three, 105-102. Beal had 21 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists. Same score, under 30 to go, and Westbrook picks off the lazy pass. He misses, but Serge Ibaka there for the cleanup. 109-102, Oklahoma City wins, moving its record to 17-17. The Thunder, 500 for the first time this season.
Hawks and Jazz from Utah in a reunion game for Paul Millsap, DeMarre Carroll, and Kyle Korver. 60% of the Hawks starting lineup used to play for the Jazz. Jeff Teague did not, and he scored and scored and scored.
Well, Jeff Teague's one of those players. If you can get him out in the open court and he's knocking down this jump shot, he's a treat to watch.
Paul Millsap getting into the act as well. Wide open for three. 19-point bulge right there, and the largest lead for the Hawks was 20.
Well, the Hawks, when they move that basketball and share it, they're one of the best in the league. But when they get a little careless with it, that's what happens, Rick.
Dante Exum had a career-high 13. Here come the Jazz. Then Rudy Gobert with the no-looker to Ian Clark. Yes, Ian Clark brings the Jazz.
He can shoot it.
Knocking it down.
Summer League success story.
That's right. I remember you when I called that game when he went fire.
And then Jeff Teague, 18 of his 26 in the first half. And the Hawks led by 12 at the break, and he just kept it going.
Well, he did. You can see quickness, getting out and running. DeMarre Carroll gets it out to big Al Horford with the finish. And you see 4 or 5 guys get out and run with the Atlanta Hawks. The bigs run well.
Teague to Thabo Sefolosha. The lead was back to 17 for ATL. And then Gordon Hayward and the Jazz coming back. There's a three, and then Gobert's going to block and ignite the break.
Go, Gadget. Get that shot out of here.
Where's Gordon Hayward? There he is. How did Trey Burke find him? That caps a 9-0 run. Jazz down 4.
A good job of Trey Burke and also Gordon Hayward getting them back into this game. There's Jeff Teague with a nice floater.
He's been doing that this year. A silencer for Mr. Teague, and the Hawks win at 98-92. The Hawks are 24-8, and if the Raptors lose at Golden State tonight, the Hawks will be in first place in the East.
The Phoenix Suns playing host to the Philadelphia 76ers on Friday. And in the first quarter, we've got a matchup of the 5th overall pick in the 2013 draft and the 6th overall pick as Alex Len, the number 5 pick, blocking Nerlens Noel. Check out this weird stat line for Len. 0 points, 5 rebounds, 6 blocks, and 4 turnovers. Meanwhile, Eric Bledsoe pulling up for 3, and then Gerald Green had 10 off the bench in the first half for Phoenix as the Suns led by 10. Michael Carter-Williams, he has struggled as of late. 3 for his last 27 in the previous 2 games, but he does have 17 on Friday, knocking down the 3 off the KJ McDaniels feed. Then off the Suns turnover, Tony Wroten to Henry Sims, part of a 9-0 Sixers run. Sims had 16 in the ballgame. Under 6 to go in the first half, and Wroten gets to the rack plus the foul. He had 15 in the opening 2 quarters. Philly on top by 2 at halftime. In the third, Eric Bledsoe to Markieff Morris as the Suns open up the second half on an 8-0 run. Eric Bledsoe continuing to get his teammates involved. Look at that lob up to Gerald Green for the slam. Green had 21 off the bench. And then Miles Plumlee for the flush, 80-68. The Sixers, though, hanging around late in the third. It's Mr. Wroten. 28 in the ball game for him. But as we head to the fourth quarter, the Suns pulling away. Marcus Morris finding Gerald Green in the corner for 3. Suns go on an 11-2 spurt to start the final quarter. And then it's Markieff Morris with the jumper in the paint. He had 21 as well. And then later on, we've got a little brother-to-brother history going on. In transition, Zoran Dragic to Goran Dragic for the lay-in. And then off the turnover, it's Goran ahead to Zoran for the finish. That's Zoran's first NBA field goal and the first time in NBA history 2 sets of brothers share the court at the same time. The Dragiches and the Morrises. It's a family affair in Phoenix as the Suns win by 16. The Toronto Raptors have lost 9 straight games at the Golden State Warriors, as meanwhile Steph Curry and company have won 9 straight on their home floor. So a lot of streaks going in favor of GSW. And this was a track meet of a game with the Warriors starting out hot. It was Steph Curry for the reverse, then Draymond Green with the Draymond Green from beyond the arc. 27-20 in favor of Golden State. And Kyle Lowry on the other end. Pull-up three is good. He had 17 in the first half. Off the Andre Iguodala steal, he finds David Lee zipping it to Lee in the paint for the lay. The Warriors scored a season-high 40 first-quarter points, shot 70% from the floor in the opening quarter. Kyle Lowry and the Raptors come back with a 21-5 run. Lowry the steal and the lay-in. And Gravis Vasquez for three. He had 13 in the second quarter. Tied at 59, under a minute to go in the first half. Steph Curry zinging it over to Draymond Green. Look at that. Takes the behind the back. Finds Draymond in traffic. 66-61 Golden State at halftime. And the Warriors open up the second half on fire as well. This is Maurice Spates inside off the feed from Harrison Barnes. And then Steph Curry kicking it out to Klay Thompson. And one of the Splash Brothers knocking it down right there. Part of a 17-2 run to open the third. Then Thompson knocks it away from Lou Williams. Steph Curry with the big flush and a ferocious ground. Same with Draymond Green. 93-73. Golden State by 20. But the Raptors, no quit in them. Vasquez, a team high 25 off the bench for him. The Warriors just go on a fantastic run in the fourth. Spates follows in his own miss. He had 26 and 8. And then GSW, part of a 14-0 run. Draymond Green, that rebound gives him his first career triple-double. Steph Curry splashes down from deep. He had 32 and 12. Green, 16 points, 11 rebounds, and 13 assists. Warriors win by 21, sending the Raptors to their first consecutive road losses of the season. The nightcap on Friday, Memphis in Los Angeles to take on the Lakers. Kobe Bryant, a triple-double against the Denver Nuggets back on Tuesday. But this is a whole new year, literally 2015 here as we get started on the second. Ed Davis, the former Grizzly, the block on Tony Allen. Davis had 11 points, 2 blocks in the first half, erasing that one. Marc Gasol going to work. Tough shot he takes right on the head-to-head contact with Ronnie Price, and the result is a little of the red stuff. He would have to leave the game but would return. Jeremy Lin contributing off the bench as Coach Byron Scott says Lin's play can best be summarized as inconsistent so far this year, as Lin hasn't scored in double figures in consecutive games since the end of November, but he had 13 in the first half in this one. Gasol back in the ballgame, scored 10 of his 18 points in the second quarter, but the Lakers led by 5 at halftime. Tayshaun Prince gets the block on Kobe Bryant. On the other end, Beno Udrih pulling up at the foul line. He had 16 points in 19 minutes. But Kobe Bryant wanted a foul call. Thought he got his jersey tugged on there as he got blocked. More from Jeremy Lin. He was 9 of 14 from the floor. 20 points off the bench. Memphis still leading by 3 midway through the fourth. Then it's Kobe Bryant pulling up for 3 to cut the deficit to 1. Memphis bringing the ball up court, and the Lakers need to foul somebody as the difference between the shot clock and the game clock, less than a second. Jeremy Lin not fouling. Kobe trying to get his attention, and Kobe says, you know what? We got to stop the clock. I'll go up there and foul him if nobody else will. He was yelling foul. Look at this. And you do not want to draw the ire of Mr. Kobe Bryant. Not a heads-up play by the rest of the Lakers crew, and Kobe doesn't usually have much patience for that kind of basketball IQ. Seconds left, and Ed Davis fouled, and the Grizzlies send him to the line to shoot two. Now, Ed Davis, playing with a broken nose, took a shot right to the face. He is a 49% foul shooter. He made the first, but couldn't make the second one to tie it. Tony Allen is fouled, and after 2 Memphis free throws, the Lakers inbounding, down by 3, and Kobe gets free just enough. Oh, that one was online, wasn't it? Just rims off as Kobe thought he had a good one. 109-106, the Grizzlies win for the 5th straight time against the Lakers.